Hey guys, it's Pastor David from the Union Rescue Mission. I'm here with Tabitha McKinley, or as we know, Tabby. Tabby has been with us here at the Union Rescue Mission. I don't know how long you've been with us. I don't even know how long it's been since you've been here.
July of last year.
July of last year, so almost a year and a half. Today, we just really want to work on Tabby's testimony and just let you guys hear her story. The story that Tabby has is pretty impressive, and I believe it can help a lot of people. So we're just going to walk through some questions. Tabby's really nervous, but we'll get through it. So Tabby, what brought you to the place to where you came to the Union Rescue Mission to get help?
So me and the kids lived in a hotel for 8 months. I waited tables at Texas Grow House, saved up all my money, got a house in Lonaconing, and then it rained so hard that the roof had collapsed on my 5-year-old Abel. Mm-hmm. And that's how we ended up here. Mm-hmm. Did I want to be here? No.
It's never a fun day when you got to come to the homeless shelter. Tim had their similar testimony. Other people I've talked to, it's never a good day when you have to come to the homeless shelter, especially with your kids.
Yeah.
But since then, the day you thought was a curse for you, how has it turned out?
The beginning wasn't easy. I wanted nothing to do with the office. I wanted no help from anybody. Me and God had a lot of problems with each other. Well, I had a lot of problems with him. So I just wanted to save up my money, leave, get a house. That was the main thing at that time. It did not go that way. I was in a very toxic relationship at the time, doing things I never thought I'd do in my life, chasing a man to drug houses to make sure he didn't overdose, being a person I'm not happy about, I'm not proud of, but I went through all of that to wake up one day and be like, I can't live like this anymore. And I had a conversation with you and Andrea about getting baptized and what I need to do to change my life around. So I did all the work to get baptized. And then September 16th at Hike for Homelessness last year, I got baptized. And I thought it was going to be I'm going to get dunked in the water and I'm going to come up a brand new person and everything's going to be easy. That was not the case either. Every day I still chose God. I'm 464 days sober without smoking marijuana after smoking it for 15 years straight, every day, all day long, which is one of my biggest accomplishments.
So when I remember the day, like you first got here, you always had marijuana in your system. You came here wanting help, in a horrible relationship, very detrimental to you and your kids. And I remember the first time you passed the UA, what was that like for you to say that I'm 30 days clean and sober?
It was overwhelming because I didn't believe in myself to the point where I didn't think I was going to make it there. Mm-hmm. But the people around me believed in me, and I needed to do it for my kids. My daughter is 14. She's been through every trial and every tribulation with me. So I needed to show her that there was more to life. There was better to life than the life I kept choosing to live and drag them through.
You were 30 days clean. You were excited about that. Never thought it'd be possible. And then it was like the mentality of, I'm just not going to use today. And then that one day turned into the next day, turned into the next day, turned into the next day. And now how many days has it been?
It's 464. 464
days without an intoxicant. Since the day that you received Christ as your Savior, what has been the biggest change? I know there's probably hundreds of changes, but what's the biggest thing that you could say, this one thing has changed everything for me?
He has calmed me. He has given me peace. He has given me clarity. I don't have a clouded mind anymore. The choices I make with Christ. They're not choices I make just by myself anymore. It's been a lot of work. There are still some things that I don't necessarily understand, but I ask a lot of questions now. I'm always going to Amanda and Andrea and asking questions. I come and ask you questions. Mm-hmm. I go to my Bible a lot more. I have one-on-one time at nighttime before I go to bed when the kids are asleep, just me and God. I write my prayer books.
Everything's changed, right? That's the hardest thing for people who come from a risky situation, whether it's bad relationships, addiction, is everything has to change, right? Oftentimes they're like, people would just be like, why don't they just quit doing those things? But to quit doing those things, that means all the people you hung around with
yes.
are different. That means all your support system has changed. That means your environment has to change because you can't live where you lived in the environment of the trauma. You can't be there. So your locations change, the people you hang around change, your coping mechanisms have to change. So what ultimately happens is it feels so overwhelming to people, and they end up failing because it seems like this unsurmountable mountain that they can't climb. And you have been successful at climbing over maybe not all the mountains in your life, but a lot of mountains in your life.
Which was something, it's not easy. I've been telling everybody around here that you have to hurt to heal. Mm-hmm. And God never said it was going to be easy, but he makes it possible.
Like hurt, like even hurt in relationships doesn't heal overnight, right? Mm-hmm. So I know you're working hard on these things, and relationships with family members or friends or even your children, when there's hurt involved or trauma involved, it's hard to heal those things back. But is it possible?
Yes.
I was going to say, I've seen it.
It's the don't quit part. There were days at the beginning where I was like, it's not worth it. I'm tired. I just want to sleep. I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to interact with people. I don't feel like taking the kids to school today. I don't want to get up at 7 a.m. and take them to the bus stop. I don't want to go to breakfast. I don't want to go to lunch. I don't care about anything. And when I changed my mindset and I started saying that it's time to get up, it's time to go over and have conversations with people. At the beginning, I kind of forced myself more so of getting up and doing it. And then when I leaned on God, it became more of okay, this is my life. This is what I'm doing. And now I enjoy it. Right. I enjoy getting up at 7 a.m. and coming over and talking to the office, getting the kids on the bus. I can see the change in the kids too, mm-hmm. which is one of the best parts of it. We had a family dinner in PA the other day, last week, and my 14-year-old for the first time ever looked at me and said, "Mom, can we pray before we eat?" And I never thought about it until in that moment that she's watching me. She sees everything I'm doing. I pray to myself a lot and she sees it. I mean, the other kids do too, but they're a little younger. Yeah. She's the oldest and she's been through everything with me. So it inspires me and it makes me feel like I'm doing the right thing when I slowly start noticing the change in her too.
Your personality has changed. The first time I had met you, you were wanting to fight or maybe even fighting a girl. And now I can't ever picture you doing that because you have patience with people. You have concern
way
for
more
people.
Patience than I thought I'd ever gain.
And you have empathy and compassion. What would be the advice you would tell yourself when you were sitting in the house up in Lonacone and you seen this huge mountain in front of you that you was in abusive relationships, you was in a horrible relationship, you were addicted, fragmented relationships? What would be the advice you would go back and tell your old self that day?
It's okay to ask for help. That's one of the hardest things I believe as a mom, as a woman in general, as a single mom, is that you're so afraid of being judged that you don't want to ask for help, that you feel like, oh, I had these kids. It's my responsibility. I'll figure it out. And that's how I felt the whole week of sitting in that house with black mold growing and my kids going to school and I'm working at the nursing home and I'm crying in between because I knew I needed help. I just didn't know. I didn't want to ask for it. Asking for help is not a bad thing when it could better your life. I'm glad I finally asked for the help that I needed because I could still be stuck in that same situation a year and a couple of months later.
Right. I mean, where would you be now at this point, honestly? Like, if you could fast forward the time from last year when you came here and you stayed in that situation, you probably want to have your kids because there's no way they're going to let you have kids in a house with black mold. Your relationship's probably in a bad place to where you're being abused, beaten.
If we're being honest, I probably wouldn't be alive because losing my kids is the one thing that I couldn't fathom. I'm really proud that I have made it this far, and asking for help was the beginning of it.
Yeah, and a lot of that, if people listen to Tim's testimony, his issue, he said, was when I asked him the similar question, he said you have to be willing to let go of your pride. Just let go your pride, and that's the first step. And then the next step is like, I gotta get help. Right. And so, that first part of like kind of crucifying yourself and saying, I need help is a big step.
Coming here with a clean roof over their head, like guidance, help, the food, 3 meals a day, being able to get them to and from school. All of the necessities has taken a load off of my shoulders where I could focus on being able to better myself for the kids.
When Tabby sits in her bed at night and is praying and trusting God for her future, what do you think that looks like?
I want to own a house. Right now, I'm working on clearing my debts because I want to leave the kids something when it's my time to leave this earth. I don't want them to just be like, my mom was a great mom, and then them have to deal with the same trials and tribulations. If I can leave just a little piece of me. So if it's leaving a house for them to always have a home to come home to, that would be amazing. I want to own my own car, which I'm working on. I'm getting ready to go to start school, online school. I can't decide if I want to be a teacher or if I want to do business psychology.
Yeah, you've come a long way. You came here broken, in a bad place, not connected to God. Anger, frustration, hurt, trauma was leading your decision making. Now what I see is the Holy Spirit's leading you. You have compassion, love, peace. And not only that, I've seen you accomplish some cool things. Like you completed your driver's ed, you got your driver's license. You have been helping us around here, work with the women and trying to give them hope as they come in the door. Just understand there's a chance. Like, yeah, there's a lot of work ahead, but there's hope. I want to own a home. I want to have my own car. I want to be able to leave a legacy for my kids. That's different thinking, right? So when people come into the homeless shelter, we've been talking about this on the series we've been doing. People come in here and they're living on a 1 to 4 hour time window, right? Which is the poverty mentality of I'm only worried about what are my kids going to eat? What am I going to eat? Where am I going to sleep tonight? The roof over my head, that 1 to 4 hour time window. People in the middle class think on a 1 to 4 year window. And people that are thinking in the upper class mentality think legacy. They want to leave something for their kids. And so the coolest thing that I've got to witness with you is that you've come in here wanting to fight over something that because somebody looked at you cross or whatever, to now you're making decisions not off of this moment that's taking place right now, but what's going to be the best thing for me 10 years from now. And the ability to do that, it transforms your ability to make decisions that's best for you and your kids over what's best, what you feel is best in the moment. And so now your decision making is about like, my goal is to have a car. My goal is to have a house. What do I need to get there? And this isn't part of that plan. I'm not dealing with that right now. Right. And you're able to walk away from situations that when you were thinking on a 1 to 4 hour time window, you really couldn't walk away from before. Now you're walking away and making different decisions. And that's pretty amazing that the pathways in your brain has changed.
I still shock myself. Where like people be so rude to me and I'm just like, you have a blessed day. Like I'll pray for you, but you have a blessed day because this isn't going to get us anywhere. Right. This is going to lead us into hurt and hate and anger, and I'm just not giving you that.
That's the coolest thing I've got to witness over the year and a half is there's been so many little changes, but when you look at the big picture, you're not even thinking the same way anymore. It's a completely different mind that is making decisions and a completely what the Bible would call a different heart. You've had a heart transplant. And it's not Tabby's heart anymore. It's the heart of God living in you. And that's so awesome. I'll give you one shot here to kind of say whatever you would need to say. If a mom walked in here right now saying, I'm ready to give up, it's over. Not necessarily the next step, but just what would you tell her right now if you were looking at her? Because like I said, there could be thousands of women that look at this video looking for hope. What would you tell her right now if she walked in and said, I can't do it. It's over. It's done. I'm ready to give up.
You can do it. Take one day at a time, 1 minute at a time to keep your head up. You see women and men too, but you see single moms with their head down a lot. And they're not realizing that they are strong. They are brave. If you feel like your children don't need you, they do. Even if you feel like they don't, they see everything. You need you.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the biggest things. So many people have looked at me and been like, your kids need you, your kids need you, your kids need you. Well, what about me? I need me too. I need me to be happy and healthy and at peace. Talk to God.
It's like I'll often tell people, you can give up tomorrow, just don't give up today.
Yes. And
Like
say it every day.
And say it every day. Every day it's the same thing. You can give up tomorrow. You can quit tomorrow. You can use tomorrow. Just don't use today, right? Tomorrow you can do it, but don't do it today. And then tomorrow, when we get tomorrow, we're going to say the same thing.
Yep.
You can do it tomorrow, just don't do it today, right?
Every day.
And just kind of, and then as time builds, confidence builds,
Yes.
God starts doing the work, your heart starts changing, and all of a sudden you look back, and a year and a half later, you don't recognize the person that first walked in this door.
At all. I look at, so my badge was just updated. I had Amanda update it because I'm like, I don't know who she is anymore.
Mm-mm.
Like, can we change my picture, please? Because I was so scrawny from the stress and the trauma and smoking all the time. And now I've put on healthy weight and I have a smile on my face and I glisten and I glow and I was excited to take that picture. The first picture for my badge, I was like, just get it over with.
Right.
And it's amazing to see the transformation, to see the difference of like, I get to put my badges side by side now. And I'm like, yeah, we don't know who she is anymore.
Yeah, don't know that girl at all. And so it's a whole bunch of little decisions over the course of time that change, that make long-term change. And you are testimony to that, you didn't come in and make one big change that fixed it all. It was just a whole bunch of little things that you changed.
And that have led me to today.
You look back a year and a half ago and you don't recognize the person you were. So, well, Tabby, I appreciate you telling your story. There's somebody that's going to watch this somewhere down the line that is going to be stuck in addiction, dealing with bad relationships, having issues with their kids, all these things. And they're going to want to give up, and they're going to watch this video at some point, and it's going to give hope. And so thank you for being brave enough to do it and being vulnerable enough to do it. And we're all facing battles. So thank you for doing it. And guys, thank you for watching. And you all have a great day, and God bless you all.
Thank you. Okay. I made it.